The corridors of the Royal Space Station Aurelia Prime stretched like arteries of light and metal, each tube vibrating with the hum of advanced technology. I had never imagined I would be here. Not as a guest, certainly, but as someone summoned personally by Queen Celera, the most revered and enigmatic ruler of the Lydran Dominion. They said the Queen rarely, if ever, interacted directly with outsiders. But apparently my human reputation for perspective had preceded me. I had barely recovered from the shock of being escorted into the Royal Observation Chamber before she arrived. The chamber was vast, circular, with transparent floors that revealed the infinite blackness of space punctuated by the cold glow of distant stars. And then, in the center of it all, she appeared. Celera's presence was impossible to ignore. Her form was both alien and hypnotically graceful. Her skin shimmered with an opalescent sheen that seemed almost alive, shifting colors depending on how the light hit her. Her eyes, impossibly large, reflected the cosmos themselves, giving her an aura of infinite depth. And yet there was a vulnerability there, subtle but unmistakable. She regarded me quietly, her gaze piercing but not hostile. Then she spoke, her voice melodious, resonating in the chamber in a way that seemed to stir the air itself. "Human," she began, "I have observed my subjects and their preoccupations. They speak endlessly of beauty, yet it remains an enigma to me. Tell me, what is beauty?" I swallowed hard. This was not a casual question. In Lydran culture, beauty was often linked to status, power, and the manifestation of one's life force. It was measured in ways humans could barely comprehend. And yet here was the Queen herself, asking me, a human, for my opinion. I hesitated, then said cautiously, "Beauty isn't something you can measure. It's in what makes life feel fuller. It's in what makes someone else's presence matter to you, not just what your eyes see." Celera tilted her head, a motion both curious and regal. "So, beauty is not symmetry, not perfection, not influence?" "Not necessarily," I replied. "It can be those things, but only if they inspire something within you. If someone or something moves you, even quietly, that is beauty. And sometimes the most beautiful things are those we barely notice." For a moment, silence. Then she spoke again, softly, almost like a confession. "I have lived for centuries, seen countless civilizations, and yet I have never felt that beauty, not truly. Perhaps I have forgotten." Her words hit me harder than I expected. Here was the most powerful being I had ever met, and she was lonely and longing. "I think," I said carefully, stepping closer, "that maybe it's not something you can find by looking outward. Perhaps it's about opening yourself to it. Seeing life in its smallest moments. The way a new star forms, the way someone smiles when they think no one is watching, the way someone else sees you, and you realize they see the real you. That's beauty." She blinked slowly, processing. Then, her hand moved almost instinctively toward her chest, resting near where the ceremonial insignia of her rule shimmered. "You make it sound so simple, human. Yet, I sense truth in your words." I didn't know if she was testing me, or if she truly wanted honesty. I decided to risk it. "Queen Celera, humans are not perfect. We are fragile, we are fleeting, we are messy. But there is a rawness in that of vibrancy. Sometimes beauty is in surviving anyway. It's in being alive, being present, being genuine." For the first time, I saw her eyes soften. Not the calculated, observant gaze of a monarch, but the contemplative gaze of someone who had been touched. She moved closer, her steps soundless on the transparent floor. "You speak of life as though it is precious beyond measure," she said. "And yet, you are human. Your species is considered fragile by many, beneath the Lydran eye. I shrugged, a little awkwardly. Maybe that's why we notice things. Maybe we don't take life for granted, so we see its beauty where others might overlook it. She studied me in silence, and then, almost imperceptibly, her form shimmered, as if some internal barrier was easing. I have never encountered a being who sees the world as you do. You are different human. Perhaps I can trust your perspective. That was when she asked the question I hadn't anticipated. And you, how do you see me? Do you find beauty here? My heart skipped a beat. It was no longer a theoretical discussion. This was personal. And for some reason, I felt compelled to answer honestly, without hesitation. I see you, Celera. Not just the crown, not just the power, not just the legend. I see you.
And in that, yes.
I see beauty. Not because of perfection, but because of courage, wisdom, and the weight you carry. You've lived centuries, and you continue. That's strength that is beautiful. She stepped even closer, closer than protocol allowed, and for the first time I noticed the subtle tremor in her hands. No one has ever said such words to me. Perhaps I did not expect them. Or perhaps I did not dare to hope. Something shifted then. The queen, who had seemed untouchable and untouchably alien, now appeared vulnerable in a way I had never imagined. I realized, with startling clarity, that this was not about flattery. She wanted to be seen. Truly seen. I mean it, I added. Beauty is not just in appearances. It's in courage, kindness, curiosity, the way someone holds their world together even when it's breaking. That's what I see in you. For a long moment, she said nothing. Then, finally, she smiled, a slow, almost shy movement that transformed the chamber. Her smile was radiant, almost blinding, and yet it was not superficial. It carried weight, history, and the acknowledgement of her own hidden vulnerability. You have opened something in me, human. A door I thought long closed. I feel lighter, somehow, and I wish to see more. From that moment, everything changed. Over the next days, I was granted unprecedented access to the inner sanctum of the Lydran Dominion. We spoke at length, not just about beauty, but about philosophy, history, leadership, and the intricate art of surviving as a queen who rules across galaxies. I watched her interact with her advisors, and I saw the difference my words had made. She laughed more freely, questioned more openly, and even challenged centuries-old traditions with a newfound audacity. The court began to notice the subtle change in their sovereign. Some whispered rumors, claiming the human had bewitched her mind. Others, more enlightened, simply observed that she seemed more alive. One evening, I accompanied Celera to the edge of the observation deck. A storm of stars swirled below us, nebulae glowing like distant lanterns in the void. She turned to me, her eyes reflecting a galaxy of colors. "Do you know, human," she said, "that beauty has always been feared by my kind? That we often equate it with weakness." "Yes," I said. "I think fear makes people hide their light. But it doesn't make it less real. It makes it more precious." She was quiet for a long time, then reached out, her hand brushing mine. The contact was gentle, electric, a simple acknowledgement that transcended words. "I want to learn to see the world as you do," she admitted. "To find beauty not in what is expected, but in what is real. Perhaps you have taught me to live again." It was surreal. I was a human, standing on a Lydran royal space station, holding the hand of a queen whose life spanned centuries, and yet it felt natural, like something inevitable. In the weeks that followed, our collaboration expanded. I became an informal advisor, helping the Queen explore cultural shifts that emphasized authenticity over perfection, vulnerability over invulnerability. The Lydran people were initially skeptical, but gradually, they noticed the change. Her leadership became more compassionate, more relatable. Empires that had once viewed the Lydrans as untouchable now saw them as inspired and approachable. Through it all, I realized the truth. Beauty, real beauty, is not in appearances or symmetry. It is in perception, in acknowledgement, in the courage to embrace vulnerability. And sometimes, changing one mind, even the mind of a galactic queen, can ripple outward to transform entire civilizations. Finally, the day came when Celera summoned me to her private chambers. She was dressed in ceremonial attire, yet her demeanor was lighter, more relaxed than ever before. "Human," she said, "you have given me a gift I did not know I needed. Not power, not influence, but perspective. I see my people differently. I see myself differently. And I see the world differently." I nodded, humbled. I only spoke what I felt. You had to be willing to listen. She smiled, that radiant, transformative smile, and extended her hand again. "Then let us continue, together. You will stay, will you not?" "I will," I said without hesitation. And in that moment, I understood something fundamental. The human capacity to see, to feel, to perceive truth and beauty where others see only form or expectation is a power in itself. One human voice had reminded a queen of her own capacity for wonder, and in doing so, changed the course of a civilization. We stood there, hand in hand, gazing at the infinite expanse of the cosmos. And for the first time in centuries, the Queen of the Lydran Dominion truly smiled. A smile born not of obligation or fear, but of understanding, connection, and the simple, profound recognition of what is truly beautiful. It was then that I realized, sometimes humans are the ones who teach the universe to see. We stood there, hand in hand, gazing at the infinite expanse of the cosmos. And for the first time in centuries, the Queen of the Lydran Dominion truly smiled, a smile born not of obligation or fear, but of understanding, connection, and the simple, profound recognition of what is truly beautiful. I realized then that humans, fragile and fleeting though we are, have a unique gift, the ability to see, to feel, and to remind even the most powerful beings that life's true value is in its moments, its courage, and its connections. One human voice had reminded a queen of her own humanity, and in doing so, changed the course of a civilization. Celera turned to me, eyes glimmering with a mixture of gratitude and curiosity. "You have given me more than I ever expected. You have shown me beauty not in perfection, but in truth." And in that truth, I knew we were not just teacher and student, human and queen. We were witnesses to the rebirth of understanding itself. As the stars stretched endlessly before us, I felt a quiet certainty. The universe had opened a new chapter, and we were part of it together. Sometimes, it takes a single voice to remind an entire world what it means to truly see. And that voice had been mine.